everyone, Hobo for Craft, aka MrHobo here, and we're hopefully gonna have a good game today. It's gonna be a Zerg versus Terran, PokeroffKas versus Madfrog, and Kas, of course, did play Warcraft 3, repping the Warcraft 3. I like that a lot. And Madfrog, of course, doing the same as well. One of my favorite undead players from way back in the day, very creative player. And that certainly has translated over to his StarCraft 2 play. If you notice on the ladder, he's pretty highly ranked, but his win loss ratio is not as great as probably it could be just because he likes to mass games and try a bunch of different strats. So mad respect to Mad Frog, and hopefully it will be a good game. I also always like doing Zerg versus Terrans just because a lot of Zergs do seem to have trouble with Terran. I actually think that Terran is one of my better races to play against. I don't know, I just kind of have it down to a formula, I guess. And but yeah, I like to give people a sense of how to play better against a certain opponent, or how to see how not to do things. So I obviously don't know how this game is going to play out. All I know is who's playing when I look at the games and maybe the length of the game, but that also is rare as well. But we're going for a 14 hatch, it looks like, from Madfrog. And ooh, we've got this annoying little SCV sticking out right here, and that's going to be no good. When you see this, you're going to have to bring another drone right away because SCVs do, in fact, have more life than the drone. And is it going to lose this drone? No, it looks like he's just going to go right back. And yeah, he's going to micro that properly. But we're going to get a fast expo from Kas as well, throwing that down at about 14. So he's counter expoing. This is really interesting, actually. I don't think I've ever seen this before on this map. But this could be a little risky just because if he doesn't block this ramp quickly enough, he could get some Zerglings in his base and definitely messing with his funk. Hopefully he can uh, get that fixed right there. And oh, apparently I just hit the loading button. So we're right back to where we were. Sorry about that, but it looks like now Madfrog has also put down another hatchery at about 17. Wow, this is something I've never seen before, and this is why I always like to watch Madfrog play, is because he's always trying something new every time I watch him. I don't think I've ever seen him just go a standard build order. So one of these strategies he's gonna do is gonna catch on sometime. I know that for sure. But yeah, this is just a really odd build. I don't have much to say about it except he doesn't even have his spawning pool up yet. And my guess is that he's banking off the fact that he knows his opponent was kind of turtling. He may have gotten a sense of that earlier. I'm not positive he sent a drone. I don't. No, he didn't even send a drone. He's basically banking on the fact that his opponent is turtling. This can be risky, especially when your opponent goes Reapers. Maybe this was a series, and he knows Kas very well. He knows his play style, etc. So that could definitely be a viable reason for why he's doing this. But oh my gosh, he's going to have such an economic an advantage, obviously, if he's up a whole nother base. He has his other base saturated more quickly than his opponent. But it looks like we do have those two orbital commands, and that, of course, will definitely help Kas out. You can see that Madfrog is up by 4 whole harvesters this early in the game, but he still is behind in the income just because of that mule usage. So that's always something to remember to use. Kind of a newbie thing to say, but some Terrans do actually forget those mules. So yeah, but basically the moral of the story is don't ever do that. And he is in fact going to be saturating this a tiny bit. He won't be able to afford queens at all of his bases, which kind of stinks this early in the game. But another thing, that if we see a starport come out from Kas, that could, one Banshee could really wreck things, just because it's gonna take him a little bit to tech, and he's not gonna be able to get an Evo chamber down to throw down some spore crawlers, and he doesn't have queens at all of his bases, like I said. So this is going to be really interesting, but we're really seeing this number of harvesters just increase and increase, so that's good. He's keeping on his macro, and he's not just pumping out mass Zerglings as he gets these bases up, which is nice to see. He's kind of spreading it out evenly. Ooh, wow, 30, almost 40 harvesters this early game. almost unheard of. So this is a really heavy build, heavy economic build from Madfrog. Very interesting. And over at the base of Kas, we're seeing the engineering bay go down. So we could see some turrets go down in anticipation of Mutalisk, but I don't think he knows that his opponent has in fact double expo. He does not know yet. Been using all of his energy from his orbital commands on those mules, none on scans, and it looks like, yeah, he is throwing down those turrets over here. He's getting some nice upgrades. That's always good. I love when a Terran gets a engineering bay not just for the turrets, but also to get upgrades. Very good use of that engineering bay, and I think it's actually a little underrated at this point. I think some players should start to see it as essential to get. It's just that key of a role in the gameplay, and we actually are getting a Baneling nest almost done from Madfrog. We could see a super late Baneling bust or something of the other sort. We're about 8 minutes into the game, and we're probably gonna see somewhat of a goofy Baneling bust, but ooh, we actually are getting a little bit of a poke at the rocks from back here. Kas very smartly did put a supply depot back here and is leaving a couple Marines to defend that off. Gonna put a missile turret here for good measure, and this base is pretty well saturated. His main is very well saturated, and as far as income goes, we've got 7 whole more harvesters, excuse me, for Madfrog that are mining at this moment. He is getting that spire. I really don't. Oh, here comes that Baneling bus, ladies and gentlemen. And oh my gosh, he just took out all 4 of those supply depots. Oh my lord, I did not expect that to happen whatsoever. It looks like, do we have a supply block going down here? Oh my gosh, we must. And it looks like, where are we here? Yeah, we've got 73 over 62. That was just devastating. I did not think that Baneling Splash was actually that far. They exploded right about here, and they got all the supply depots right in that range. That's a really heads-up play right there by Madfrog. And just spreading out creep like a mad, not even bothering with tumors, just throwing those overlords all over the place. That's a really nice play. Using them really nicely. Some Zergs, you just see them clump up in one spot, and it's like, well, you're getting no use out of your Overlord then. So I like seeing Madfrog do all this sort of smart play, but oh my gosh, what do you know? Another Expo, and he's already at 71 Harvesters. That is a full 21. That's a whole nother base more than his opponent, who is actually now throwing down another command center. It looks like we do have a couple of Mutalisks out, and by a couple I mean 8, which is a good deal of Mutalisks. Is able to pick off a good number of SCVs if used correctly. Oh, didn't see that little turret sneaking behind that refinery right there. It looks like they will be held off for now, but this game certainly is peculiar. Just a terribly odd start with that double expo from Madfrog. And now we're going into a spire, which is very, very delayed in relative to when a Zerg would normally get a spire, but his economy is just booming, and we can see by all these leftover minerals that is something that Madfrog does seem to have trouble with, switching over from Warcraft 3, and oh my gosh, just a massive overlords all over the place. He does seem to have a little trouble with macroing and keeping his minerals low. It's really important as Zerg. Oh, it looks like we're going to have 5 Marines going to be scouting around and picking off some Overlords. There go 2 Overlords right there. Oh no, he's going to micro that back just in time. It looks like 1 Mutalisk did go down and all of these Marines did go down. But it looks like they did spot that there was an Expo here. And that is well worth the 5 Marines. He could have thrown down a scan right there though, but yeah, I don't know, that was questionable, especially since he had a medevac. He could have at least tried to drop. Certainly odd play going on here in StarCraft 2 Stadium, but oh my gosh, we have about 4,000 minerals right now for Madfrog, and maybe he's still in a Warcraft 3 state of mind. Maybe he's trying to stay at no upkeep. Yeah, I have no idea what he's thinking right now. At any second, he should just burst with a bunch of units, or maybe he's saving up to get Ultras. That could definitely be it. That could definitely explain the very, very economy heavy build that he has produced here. Oh, that would actually be interesting. And we're seeing 3 more hatcheries go down. 4. No, of course. 3. That's ridiculous. But 4, that's fine. So we have a total of about 8 hatcheries. God, this game is just ridiculous. We have about 8 hatcheries and about 30 bailings, 7 mutalisks, and this does not make sense at all. But oh, we've got 5 tanks right here, and it looks like these bailings are all going to roll in, and they're going to take out just about half of these marines. 1 tank and almost another Thor all went down with that swoop of bailings, and right away he's produced all of these zerglings again. That's 52 more zerglings in just half a second. It looks like we are getting a move come in from Kas onto this expo, but it is no matter. No worries from Madfrog because he has 2 more bases to support his army and economy, but I don't even think he needs those. He has stacked up what I like to call a nice little bank. Oh, but they have a very nice block inside the base of Kas, and it looks like he's going to break through. Madfrog is in, taking out all sorts of units. It looks like this Thor is cleaning up these Stimpack Marines, doing so much damage, and in the end, are they able to take out this Thor? No, they are not. It looks like that will be repaired and will live to Arnold Schwarzenegger another day. We do have 1-1 upgrades, which do explain why those Zerglings were able to be such hosses. And is he just going for straight? What is this? Just mass Zergling, Baneling, Mutalisks build? This is crazy. And, oh, it looks like all these Marines are gonna go down, and the Thor, and these tanks, maybe even a couple medevacs. Oh my gosh, hell, throw in the Panda Bear guy too. Wow, that was just a huge play right there. All of those units went down to these Banelings, which are so extremely strong, especially when accompanied by that +1 attack upgrade. Just amazing, and we're getting some burrow action go down here. Oh, we could see that landmine effect use. This explode. You can, in fact, explode the Banelings while they are underground, which is nice. While he walks over, just click that button. And goodbye, Marines. Even the Thors take a relatively high amount of damage from those pesky Banelings. And getting a nice creep spread, somewhat of a nice creep spread, but I do like that they are in key areas, going to expos outside the base